How long have you been living in Pacific Grove?
Since about 45.
I've been here 42 years.
I arrived here in 1957.
Over 60 years.
I moved here in 1956.
What would you say is some of the most significant changes that you've seen in this town?
Well, when I first came here, the Nine Ponds area was not developed. That's all of the area by Methodist Church.
The police station right now, it was called the PG Rec Club. Some of the money came from Bing Crosby. I'm sure you've heard of him. They had started the golf tournament that's now the AT&T. And he is the one that gave City of Pacific Grove some money to start that. And we had a rec club. We'd have like Christmas parties, Halloween parties, dancing on Fridays or Saturdays. I used to go to that, and my girlfriend down the street, we would go there to the parties.
I've seen some nice improvements, but they're not as many as the things that left us. For instance, the Red House is a lovely restaurant, but there are other things that left way too soon. And I have about 4 former students that own businesses.
Most of the businesses move out of Pacific Grove into the larger spots.
Well, it just goes on and on. The development of lots that were not developed before, which would be deer habitat, would bring deer and what have you right down to this particular area. We would have deer in the museum garden.
When the state of California made their birthday, they would hire, every 4th of July, they would get the synchronized swimmers from San Francisco. They'd come down here and put on a show. They'd have shows with sea lions that do tricks and all this. Oh,
In the pool?
In the pool. It was fabulous. It was really nice. And then, of course, when they started the Feast of Lanterns again, we still had the pool. And so we go down for the swimming at night in the pool.
Forest Hill Manor was Forest Hill Hotel. And he built that for his granddaughter.
That block, 4th Avenue and Grand, they wanted to consolidate the fire department and the city hall. So they wanted to take this whole block right here, opposite us, all the way down, and just pay whatever you paid for your house, that's all you would get. And it got voted down. I know, my parents would only get $1,600. That's all houses cost back in the 40s. And now I've been offered $1 million.
We were driving along Ocean View one evening, and all houses were dark except for 1 or 2. I have a friend that lives in Carmel who's moaning about the same thing. He says, I used to know everybody in this block. Now I don't know any of them.
Empty buildings, so much has gone that I remember. So much really, really important things to us.
What sort of changes have you seen in Holman's? I know it used to be more of a department store, and now it's moved into antiques.
Mrs. Holman always bragged that they had 57 departments.
Holman's had a 3-story building, but on the top was a restaurant.
That was the most wonderful. I can tell you exactly what was on every floor. The 4th floor was furniture and bedding and furniture, and it was fantastic. They had only the best things. Coming down, the 3rd floor had much to do with lingerie, ladies' lingerie, and ladies' ready-to-wear. They were dresses. They were ready to wear. And it was called Ready-to-Wear Department. And that was all ladies ready to wear. 2nd floor was wonderful because it was a mezzanine. That means that you could see over and see the people coming in down below. Gift wrapping over in this corner. In this corner over here was arts and crafts. You could buy yarns and things like that. Over here on this side in the corner was a beauty shop. And some children's clothes were over there. Yeah. But 1st floor was lots of jewelry. Men's clothing off here on this side of the doors, of the main doors. And then there was ladies' sportswear over on this side.
They had a fabric store, they had a shoe store, kids department, ladies department, men's department, that was downstairs, even a jewelry store.
But I know at one time I was looking for Black Higgins ink, and I went over to Holman's at that time, and they had all of the other colors, but they didn't have any black, because they bought all of their colors in units. And so when they ran out of one, they waited until they ran out of several, and then they would buy the supply again. So I had to go somewhere else for Black Higgins ink.
And they, every Christmas, they'd have a train ride, because we used to have a train here. Where the senior citizen building is, that used to be a lumber yard and the train station. And I never got to go on the train ride, but they'd have it every year. But they'd have a party up there in the restaurant and have, snacks for the kids, and Santa Claus would come, and their fashion shows. Every year they have a fashion shows with desserts for the ladies, and then for their birthday, they would always have cake. They had a grocery store downstairs, dishes, they had a record shop down there, bought a lot of Elvis Presley records when he came in.
Do you remember your first time going to the library?
Not my first time, but after my wife got here, we spent a lot of time down there.
Well, it was a school trip. We would pass this, I've always lived over here on Forest Avenue all my whole life. And we would walk by every Sunday to go to church, because our church was here on Central Avenue. And we didn't know this was a library. So, and when I was in the 3rd grade, the teacher said that we were going to go on a field trip. And our parents had to give an okay. We rode the school bus and everything, and we came to the library. And Mrs. Van Dern was the librarian at the time, and gave us a speech about the library and all that. And when we left, that was interesting. I love to read anyway, so this was just perfect for me. Because you had all these books and you didn't have to buy them. You just got to take them out for 2 weeks, and you could redo them and bring them back. And they gave us all a application, which I brought home. Your parents had to sign. You had to fill it out. Your parents had to sign. And my mother walked me back over to the library, and I got my library card. I've had one ever since.
I brought a lot of children here. And I have given a lot of books here, new ones. But I gave them, most of them I gave in honor of Marian Anderson, who was a famous contralto. That was the first Black woman to be on the Metropolitan Opera stage.
Well, I would have gone to the library for any publication that I needed that was there. Eventually, they got the large English dictionary, which I used a lot.
My middle son, what time he was in 3rd grade, he was sort of a non-reader. So we came down, then I introduced him to a series of books, children's books. I remember reading called The Hardy Boys. It's not considered good literature. And it turned my son on to reading, and he's been a reader ever since.
I just felt that the library was so important to me when I was a child. And I always loved the smell of books.
How would you say technology has influenced this city as it has developed over time?
So the computers, of course, have absolutely changed the way we live and communicate and everything else. In the early days, before computers and before the refinement of computers, people used to try to do something that was called statistics.
The internet has influenced a lot of our teaching and behavior.
I guess the first thing that I noticed difference was when we were traveling, we would get these books on tape. And the library had a big collection of those. I don't know if they still keep them, but whether they go on the disc now.
And the computer, it builds its own arrangement. You can't follow it. It happens too fast.
It's making big changes in the library, I think, because with the e-books type of thing, you can.
I don't see as many kids coming here. And I think I know why. I think we all know why. The media on the little box that is in our houses takes a lot of time. And I know DVDs are important too, and CDs are important too, but there is nothing like having a book.
What do you think is the most important aspect of a library?
Well, the library, of course, was the source of the proof of knowledge.
I couldn't imagine a town without a library.